GFC600 Autopilot operates like most other autopilots in the CSI fleet. There are, however, some operational differences that each pilot must be aware of. For safety reasons, system operational procedures must be learned on the ground prior to any flight. The Garmin G600 700 TXI avionics and the GFC600 Autopilot system, as installed in 591 Alpha Whiskey, has a very high degree of functional integrity. To reduce the risk of unsafe operation, carefully review and understand all aspects of the G600 700 TXI avionics and the GFC600 Autopilot system. The respective pilot's guide are located in Good Reader on the pilot's iPad. During flight operations, carefully compare and monitor the flight director, avionics, and autopilot response to all available navigation indications, attitude displays, and air data information. The Garmin GFC600 Autopilot is a high-performance, attitude-based, automatic flight control system, coupled with the Garmin G600 700 TXI avionics, allows for a very comprehensive system that supports an extensive set of operating modes and safety features. The GFC600 Autopilot uses the panel-mounted GMC605 mode controller as the primary user interface for the Autopilot. The mode controller provides Autopilot, flight director, and yaw damper selection buttons, and a wheel for convenient adjustment of the pitch, airspeed, and vertical speed functions. A backlit monochrome LCD displays both active and arm modes, reference values, alerts, and messages. The GMC605 contains internal sensors which calculate the aircraft attitude, allowing the GFC600 to operate without relying on any external source of attitude. The primary flight display of the Garmin G600 TXI glass cockpit provide for AFCS mode annunciation and alerts, located at the top of the PFD, Flight Director Command Bar, altitude pre-select, heading, and bank limit indications for the ESP function. When aircraft power is turned on, the GFC600 Autopilot will automatically perform a pre-flight test to check internal functions, interfaces, and servo status. While the test is in progress, the GMC605 will display the message PFT. The GMC's 3 LEDs are illuminated in yellow for 1 second and then in red for 1 second. When pre-flight test is complete, the AP disconnect oral is played through the audio panel. If everything past the PFT message is removed from the GMC display. If there are any failures detected, the GMC displays PFT fail and illuminates the AP LED in red. The GMC 605 mode controller consists of 4 activation buttons. A display screen divided into 3 sections. The left side for lateral mode with 4 lateral mode selection buttons. The center section for vertical mode with 4 vertical mode selection buttons. The right side for system messages and an up and down control wheel. The Autopilot has several limitations that should be observed. Initial Autopilot engagement is 800-foot AGL and less than 175 knots indicated. Disengagement below 200-foot AGL on an instrument approach and below 800 AGL in cruise flight. There is a 200-pound max fuel imbalance limitation. The Autopilot is engaged by pressing the Autopilot button on the GMC mode controller. If the flight director is already on the Autopilot, will begin following the active flight director commands. If the flight director is not on when the AP key is pressed, the flight director will come on with Autopilot engagement and will default to pitch and roll modes. The Autopilot is always on, monitoring the attitude of the aircraft. The Electronic Stability Protection System, ESP, protect the pilot and plane. ESP provides flight envelope protection while hand flying, applies a corrective force for bank, pitch, and airspeed exceedance, and increases corrective force with greater exceedance. Level mode, LVL, is a coupled pitch and roll mode and is enunciated as both the vertical and lateral modes when active. LVL mode is activated 2 ways, manually by pressing the LVL key. This engages the Autopilot if the Autopilot is disengaged. LVL mode does not track altitude or heading, but instead uses a vertical reference of 0 feet per minute and a lateral reference of 0 bank angle. LVL is also activated automatically if the aircraft is flown outside the safe flight parameters of greater than 20 degrees, nose up or nose down, and or greater than 45 degrees bank for longer than 10 seconds. When the LVL key is pressed, all armed and active modes are canceled, and the autopilot reverts to LVL mode for pitch and roll. While in LVL mode, all other modes are available by pressing the corresponding button. Activating the go-around mode does not disengage the autopilot. Pressing the go-around button while in the air allows the execution of a missed approach go-around without disconnecting the autopilot. Go-around mode arms the selected altitude capture mode automatically. No longer will the pilot need to arm the heading select function on the G600 TXI or change to the GNSS mode to fly an approach or holding procedure. The GFC600 autopilot, whether engaged or not, will follow the GPS, ILS, or VUR navigation source. All pilots are encouraged to review the G600, G700 TXI, and the GFC600 Pilot's Guide. These guides are in good reader on the pilot's iPad.